Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Aaron Advantage podcast. This is part 2 of our series. This part will be getting started as a new agent, in which we will discuss the crucial steps for new agents who are getting started in the real estate business. All right, everybody. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are going to be talking about getting started in the real estate business, and I'm starting from the very beginning. We're going through education, training, selecting a brokerage, and how to build a network. All of the most important things that people need to understand and be able to do to start a successful career in real estate. So the first thing, which is the most important thing that I'm going to talk about, is the education that is required to become a real estate agent. Now, that being said, I'm going to speak from my own personal experience on what is required. I have currently got a real estate license in the state of Indiana, so I can tell you about that, as well as I have been starting the process of getting licensed in the state of Kentucky as well. So before you can ever sell real estate or do anything else, you must have a real estate license to be a practitioner, to be able to help people buy, sell, lease property, a lot of other things in most cases. In the state of Indiana, the requirements are that you must be 18 years of age, you must have a high school diploma or equivalent degree, and you must pass a 90-hour pre-licensing course that has information on the national real estate information that all agents in the United States need to know, as well as Indiana licensing law. After you pass that class, you then will take a licensing examination, which is broken into 2 parts, which are national competency and Indiana license law. And once you pass those, you can then apply for your real estate license. There are certain aspects and things that they're going to take into consideration when you're trying to get your real estate license, and you have to fill out under penalty of perjury whether you've ever been convicted of any crimes or anything else like that, that then gets sent to the professional licensing agency to determine whether or not you are able to get that license and practice real estate. Kentucky is very similar. The requirements as far as the age and the education are the same. The difference is they actually have a 96-hour course. Most of the information's about the same. On the national side is all going to be the same. And then they have also their Kentucky license law information that you need to understand. Any other state in the United States may have different requirements. I don't know what those are personally because I have not been licensed to practice in any other state. But what I would recommend is making sure, no matter where you are in the world, that you find out what those education requirements are, because those will be imperative to get that license to be able to practice, no matter where you're thinking of helping buyers and sellers in the real estate industry. The next thing that is absolutely important is getting a real estate training on how to actually sell real estate. The dirty secret is that licensing course doesn't really teach you anything you need to know on how to build your business or help navigate transactions. It's a lot of vocabulary, a lot of information, a lot of stuff that is necessary knowledge to be able to be knowledgeable enough to represent buyers and sellers and help them navigate through the real estate transaction. But what it doesn't do is teach you how to build a database, how to properly fill out the contracts to represent your clients, understanding customary differences on how transactions are navigated in places. Those are all things that you absolutely need to learn from a broker in a market where you are going to practice. Truth of the matter is, I can tell you right now that in Southwest Indiana, there are certain things that we do as custom that are completely different from other areas of the state, whether that's the type of possession requirements that people have whenever they sell or buy a home, how we handle taxes in our area, the way title insurance is negotiated. All of those things differ from market to market. And I'm not going to try to tell you what the best way to do that is or how you need to do those sorts of things, because the best way to learn is to find out from someone in your market. But you do need to find out from an experienced agent who has helped clients navigate multiple sales, because they're going to teach you a lot of important things that you're just not going to learn in that licensing course. Once you get into a brokerage, I always highly recommend finding one that has a course on exactly what you need to know on how to help buyers and sellers through the real estate transaction. Learning how to operate with buyers has typically been what most agents do when they're first getting started in the real estate space. It's a lot of times it's a little bit easier for people to get comfortable with helping first-time home buyers that may not have a relationship with an agent or may not know someone who has an agent with a relationship with an agent. And that's just one of the things that people tend to do most when they first get started in real estate. Not always the case, but it is what people tend to do most. Understanding how to help them through the process of looking at homes, to the process of deciding whether or not to make an offer, getting their financing in order, who to recommend for financing or home inspections or appraisals or all of these things. Those are all things that you need to learn through experience. At our brokerage, I did a podcast about a year ago with Gretchen Muchnick and Michael Daly. We talked about a lot of the things that we offer as a full-service brokerage. And one of those things that we talked about was the fact that we have what we call our Fast Track program, which is about a 6-week course that we sit down with all new agents and go through every single aspect of what it's like to be a real estate agent. We train them on how to utilize Paragon, which is our multiple listing service, which is the interface that we utilize as real estate agents to find out all of the information about listed properties, as well as homes that have sold, those that have expired, anything that's currently under contract. All of that information is in a centralized database where we have access so we can learn as much about what's going on in the real estate space as possible. So we make sure our agents know how to navigate that, set that up for searches, and help their clients understand how to navigate that information as well. In addition to that, we then teach people exactly what they need to do to start building their business. And we're going to go through some of those strategies and things that we can do for building your network in the next point. But that's something that a lot of brokerages don't tell you. The age-old adage that I've heard in the past was when you first got a real estate license in many offices, the broker said, hey, congratulations, here's your desk, here's your phone, you're on your own. And because you're an independent contractor, that's what it's like for a lot of people when they first get started in the real estate space. And they don't have really any guidance on what they need to do or who they need to contact or how they let people know that they're actually in real estate. So we want to make sure that we teach our new agents the tactics and offer them the tools that are necessary so that they can go out and they can make sure they are setting themselves up for success. That education also includes additional information on how to fill out those contracts. It goes through all of the processes on how we do our internal auditing process, on how we look for certain things, what signatures are needed, how to represent an estate, how to make sure that if you're representing a legal entity, you get the contracts all signed appropriately. Because the truth of the matter is, those things change constantly, and people need to understand and be on top of specifics on how they get all of that stuff done so that they get that all taken care of. In that course, we also teach people the best ways to set up marketing, different campaigns they can utilize to publicly market that they now have a real estate license, publicly market their services that they provide as far as helping sellers get their best price for their home, and how buyers can get the best representation, the best deal, and make sure that they are well represented and protected throughout the purchase process. All of those things are absolutely imperative to understand and learn when you're first getting started in real estate. Because the truth of the matter is, most people have no idea what they don't know when they first get into it, and learning about what they need to do and how they need to represent their clients is something that is very, very important that you're just not going to get in your licensing course. In addition to that, it's always good, in my opinion, to be in the office as much as possible. At my brokerage where I work, FC Tucker Emge, we have weekly meetings that give agents opportunities to have continuing ongoing education. We have a weekly sales meeting where we talk about a lot of different things that are going on, industry changes. We bring in outside experts, people who can talk about the financing process. We bring in inspectors so that people can understand what the inspection process looks like. We've had appraisers, HVAC technicians. We've had foundation specialists. Things that are ancillary businesses that complement who we are and what we do, so that we have a good base of knowledge and a good network of professionals that we're going to utilize throughout our real estate career. In addition to that, we do a weekly Build Your Business, which is specifically set up with tools and tactics and training on things that you need to know that are going on in the market right now. There's been a lot of industry talk about changes to buyer agency over the last few months, and I'm not going to get into all all of that here today, but we spent a good 2-month period helping our agents understand those changes, navigate what may happen in the future with things that are going on that are outside of our control, and how we can best serve our clients' interests while we are navigating those changes. So we are always making sure that we are, first off, educating new agents that are coming in, and then continuing to offer additional training over time, because you need to, as I said in the last episode, continually be a student of what's going on in the market and in the industry so that you can continue to build your skills, increase your knowledge, and help your clients better understand the real estate transactions that they'll be in. Next up is joining a brokerage. And every broker offers different services. Every broker has different ways that they handle their business. Every broker has specific tools and technology that they're going to offer that may differ from place to place. What I think people do not take into consideration or do not ask about enough is, where do I fit the best? And the truth is not everybody's going to fit the best at my brokerage. I may not fit the best at another brokerage. And there's nothing right or wrong about the broker that you choose to affiliate with. Ultimately, what I would tell anybody is, make sure that you're going to someone that is going to make sure that they are giving you the best opportunity to set yourself up for success. As I mentioned previously, FC Tucker MD is a full-service brokerage. We have an accounting department to make sure that our agents are paid as quickly as possible when they close transactions. We have a marketing department that will help you create graphics, design marketing campaigns, help you understand the rules and regulations of what's required when you're putting out information. There's license law that affects what you can and can't say online. We're going to make sure that you're in compliance with all that stuff. In addition to that, we have an on-staff graphic designer who can literally create all of the graphics you could ever imagine, as well as setting you up with an overall brand look that is established for you specifically to make sure that your stuff consistently looks the same, has high quality information, and has you looking your absolute best to the marketplace. We also have an IT staff that makes sure that everybody's technology is up and running and making sure that everybody has the best stuff available to make them more effective and efficient in the technology that they're using. A lot of people don't realize just how important all of those things are. Your support staff as a real estate agent are imperative a lot of times when you're getting your career started, and you want to make sure that you're doing the absolute best that you can. We also have an amazing company culture. We always talk about the Tucker family, and I can tell you right now, it really is a family atmosphere. It's absolutely fantastic to get together and spend time trading stories, letting people know about things that we're seeing in the marketplace, the things that we're hearing from consumers, the questions that seem to continue to arise from sellers or buyers about things they may hear in the news. That culture of sharing and camaraderie is one of the things that I absolutely love about the brokerage that I work at. And I think that understanding the culture of wherever you're going is absolutely imperative. We have the ability to work remotely. Everybody in the world does now. If COVID benefited us in any way, it was the fact that we found out how easy it is to be able to work remote and not have to be face-to-face or in the office or doing all of these things all the time. It also killed a lot of businesses' culture because now nobody's in the office. Nobody knows who anyone around them is. And that's one of the things that in real estate can be very detrimental, because having a personal relationship with the people around you is one of those things that is important. It's not just important to have a relationship with your clients. As I mentioned in the last episode, having a good relationship with other agents in the marketplace is beneficial to know about properties that may be coming up in the future, to be able to share what kind of buyers you're working with so that they can keep that in mind if they have anybody that reaches out to them that says they're thinking of selling and those properties may match. It's also important to make sure that you have a good relationship so that if you are in a multiple offer situation, like I said last time, you may have a better opportunity of getting your client's offer accepted just by nature of having that relationship. That doesn't have to be within one brokerage, but having a brokerage that fosters those types of relationships between the agents is something that I would take into consideration if it were for me. The other thing is brand reputation is important. As I mentioned previously, real estate is all about location, location, location. It is a hyper-local endeavor, and making sure you're with a company that has a good reputation in the market that you wish to serve is something that you absolutely need. It doesn't matter what the name of that company is, what the brand is you choose to affiliate with, as long as you know that when you go into a place, it is recognizable. That is one of the things that I think is super important for people to understand when they're going to affiliate with that person, because your broker's name is affiliated with every single piece of marketing you put out there. Indiana requires that your broker be clearly identified in all of your marketing. So you want to make sure that you've got someone who's got your back and that the public sees as a good source of information and a great company to work with. The last thing that I think needs to be taken into consideration is what the financials look like. But it's not just about the split that the company is offering. There's a lot of other things that go into it, because you may have somebody that offers the best split in the entire world, but they don't offer you any of the tools or training or technology that may be necessary for your success. You may go somewhere that says, hey, we don't have the highest splits in the marketplace, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we build your brand up so well that we give you the best chance to make more sales and give you a higher probability of making more money in the long run, because you are able to satisfy the needs of more clients, which means you're going to be able to close more deals and ultimately make more money. I don't know what the financial picture looks like for you individually. I don't know what the best look is for every single agent out there. But what I do know is that you need to understand that top line revenue versus take home pay are not going to be the same thing all the time. And you need to see what the total investment that the company makes in you is, because they may set you up for even better success. That it may cost you a little bit more on the split on the front end, but I can tell you it may put you in a position where you gross or you net more money, which ultimately is the most important thing. So ask those questions. If they can only talk about the splits and they can't tell you any of the tools or education that they're offering, that might be a red flag for you. The last thing for any agent getting started that I want to talk about today is you need to make sure that you are building your network. And a lot of people call it your network or your sphere of influence or any of these different things. I mentioned this last time. You do not want to be a secret agent. We are not James Bond out here. We're not 007 making sure that nobody knows who we are. We are licensed to sell, and we need to make sure that people know about that. A lot of agents wear their actual company brand on their clothing all the time. They may wear their name tag everywhere. For me personally, that's not how I've chosen to build my network, going out and talking to people. My way of doing that is to consistently put out information on the internet that is branded with my company name that helps people understand who I am and what I do. That's just my personal preference. But building your network also starts from day one with identifying the people that you know that may be potential referral sources. And I think a lot of people get hung up when they first get into the business thinking, well, I've never sold anybody a house. I've never helped anybody buy a house. I don't know who I can talk to say, hey, I want your business. And it can be daunting because, as I mentioned before, a lot of people aren't really into this business to be salespeople. They're in this business to be service people, to help others. So what I tell everybody all the time is just identify the people that you know that already know, like, and trust you. When you're out there in the marketplace, whether those are your family or your friends, the people who provide you with services. Maybe you go to someone to get your hair cut all the time. Maybe you have someone who does your lawn work. Anybody around you that already has a relationship with you is where you start building your network. Just let them know, hey, I just got a real estate license. I'm in the business, and I just want to let you know that if you know of anybody who's thinking about making a move, I'd love an opportunity to talk to them. It's that simple. That's all there is to it. You don't have to ask everybody you know for their business. As a matter of fact, I hate calling people and asking for their business. It feels pushy. It feels slimy. It feels like something that I definitely don't want to do. But if I can say, hey, I'm looking to help a lot of people this year, and I really enjoyed working with you in the past. If you know anybody who's thinking about making a move, just keep me in mind. I'm more than happy to help them out. I'm not pushing them to do anything for me. It's one of those things that I think is a lot better way to do business because, as I mentioned before, I work by referral. I want to make sure I'm building great relationships with the people that I work with to make sure that I'm taking care of their needs so they're more likely to send business my way. But start with those people. Start asking them who they may know who might be able to help you out. In addition to that, you should be in a position where you are welcome or you are willing to go out and meet brand new people because guess what? If you only talk to the same 10 people all the time and they have either bought or sold already or everyone they know already has, you're going to run out of business pretty quickly. We are in a people business, which means we need to continue to meet new people as much as possible. One of the things that I did when I was first starting to build my career as much as possible was I got involved in a networking group. This networking group was BNI at the time. BNI stands for Business Network International. Basically what it is a group of like-minded professionals who are building their business by referral, sitting down, explaining who they are, what they do, and making sure that they have opportunities to pass business back and forth between each other. I don't care if it's BNI. I don't care if it's just a group of business owners you know. I don't care if it's your buddies getting around every once in a while. You need to have a group of people that you get with on a regular basis to explain how you might be able to help each other's business out. There's a lot of different businesses out there that you may think never would have anything to do with real estate. But I can tell you right now, we are too focused on how do I help people buy and sell homes too many times. If you can find out ways that you can connect people just through who you know and what they do, that is a benefit to your business overall. You may never know that the baker that you're talking to has clients that are getting ready to have family in town because they have a new baby coming in. And if there's a new baby that's being born, maybe the house they have is going to be too small, and they start talking about the fact that they're going to start looking for a new home soon. There's an opportunity for you to maybe get that referral and have an opportunity to talk to those people. Anyone you meet, anywhere you go, is absolutely someone that you can add to your network to stay in front of, to keep them educated and informed on what you do so that you can continue to make sure that you are available if those referrals come. One of the top referring people that I have in my database came to me from making sandwiches for me at Subway. I went into this Subway in the town where I live so often that and I talk to everybody all the time. At one point in time, she asked me, she's just like, I see you in here all the time. What do you do for a living? And I said, well, actually, I'm in real estate. I help people buy and sell homes. I specialize in residential real estate, and that is my primary focus. By the way, if you were ever looking to buy or sell a home, or you knew anybody that was, do you have an agent that you'd work with? The door was open. I had the opportunity. I put it out there. Her response was, funny you should mention that. Actually, my sister has a home that she's thinking about selling. Do you have a business card on you that I can pass along your information? I said, absolutely. And if you don't mind, if she's okay with it, feel free to send me her information as well. I'm more than happy to reach out, set up a time to go out and meet them and see what I can do. Since that time, I listed that house for her sister. I listed another house for her sister and sold both of those properties. I helped her daughter list and sell a home, and I helped her daughter purchase a new home. There are opportunities everywhere. You just have to be open and willing to have those conversations. So if you're scared to talk to strangers, I've got some bad news for you. That's the majority of what I do. That's how I make a living, is talking to strangers. So continually being out there in front of people and doing everything you can to build your network all the time is something you absolutely should do. The other thing is, once you get a little bit of traction, if you're in a position where you can start having some clients and closing some deals, that's a great opportunity to build a network around the homes that you're helping people sell and buy. What do I mean by that? It's called circle prospecting. If I represent a seller on a transaction and I get their home under contract, I'm sending out information to the neighborhood to let them know, hey, I met with your neighbor. We got their home under contract. Just wanted to let you know that there's a home for sale. Truth of the matter is, statistically, you're going to see about 7 other people in a 200 home radius that are potentially thinking about selling. Now, I'm not specifically asking these people in the circle prospecting if they're thinking of selling or if they want any information or if they need to meet me, call me. I just want the people around the homes that I'm selling to know that I'm there and available, and I've helped someone else do that because it's a potential opportunity that they might reach out to give me a call. I sold a house to a buyer over on the north side of Evansville in the community where I live, and I sent out postcards to the surrounding area just saying, hey, just found a buyer for this property. And someone from that postcard reached out to me, said, hey, I saw that you sold this property. We live in the area. Just wanted to get some information on what you did to help them out because we have a home that we're thinking of selling. I said I'd be more than happy to come out and meet with you. We got together. I met them at the property, got some information, showed them how I could help them as a seller's agent, and ultimately helped them list and sell that property as well. So always be networking, always be out there trying to add to your database, always be open to the possibility of those conversations, especially when you're first getting started. You need to be out there as much as possible, telling people who you are, what you do, and how you may be able to help them. So I hope you found these bits of information super helpful for you. Truth of the matter is, building your network is one of the things that it doesn't matter if you're brand new or if you've been in the business for a long time. That's something that's always going to be going on, as well as making sure that you're at the brokerage that takes care of you and you are always doing everything you can to find the best education and the best training to keep your career on the right track. Be sure to tune in for part 3, which will be about informing your network of who you are and what you do.